Now, I did suggest last night that we may be able to have a China-free zone tonight. I lied. No, not really. Given what's developed today, though, we can't do that. Because, you see, the Chinese government's media mouthpiece, the Global Times, they have delivered again. They have illustrated how super sensitive these sooks are. They've illustrated how arrogant they are too by jumping into another of Australia's key supporters. That's right. This comment from New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern earlier this week has put them in the firing line as well.
I've seen some of the latest discussion over what was a Twitter image, which we've seen a lot of commentary over. New Zealand has registered directly with Chinese authorities. Our concern over the use of that image, it was an unfactual post.
So for standing with Australia over that offensive, graphic, fake image of an Aussie soldier slitting the throat of an Afghan child, which has not been proven in the Brereton report, I might add, and confirming she was sending a note to the Chinese government, well, the Kiwis are called names and given a serve. It was hardly delivered with the same gusto as ScoMo.
The Chinese government should be totally ashamed of this post.
That was not the way Jacinda Ardern delivered her comments. The Global Times article stated, Kiwis bleat like Aussie sheep, but don't condemn Afghan killings. This is also part of the so-called Western values, the freedom to be hypocrites. It then went on to claim that Ardern was coerced into supporting Australia. No. The Chinese are getting very confused here. You see, they coerce other governments, leaders and their own people to do and say what they demand. That's part of the Como ethos, you see. Do as we say or else. Not the democracies of the world. Jacinda Ardern in particular says and does what she wants, including occasionally embarrassing Australian Prime Ministers at press conferences. Remember this over Australia deporting Kiwi crooks?
Australia is well within its rights to deport individuals who break your laws. New Zealand does the same. But we have a simple request. Send back Kiwis, genuine Kiwis. Do not deport your people and your problems.
Would that same woman cop being told what to do or say by Australia? That is laughable. And the Chinese know it, or they're just deaf. In Canberra today, Chinese Deputy Ambassador was asked about whether his superiors in Beijing were deaf because they won't accept any invitation to communicate. They won't even pick up the phone. Have a listen to this.
The diplomatic channels are always open.
Yes, but not the leadership channels.
It takes preparation to reach that level.
So that stretches credulity. It's been months now since there's been any contact whatsoever between ministers.
The meetings between the ministers and even the higher level must be prepared. It's a normal international diplomatic practice.
It's normal. The channels are open. They tell porkies, these officials, with all the poise of a ballerina, don't they? He knows we've been given the cold shoulder and it may last for months and months and months. Meanwhile, Beijing will very likely spend part of next week tearing into us again because we're expecting the passing of our foreign relations legislation. Labor has now dropped its planned opposition to the bill and it's expected to be passed next week. The law will allow the Commonwealth to block any agreement between Australian states, councils or any institution, think universities, and a foreign government. You can put money on the fact that Victoria's 2018 Belt and Road deal will be the first casualty. And won't that go down well with Chairman Dan?